Hello, my dear friends in AstroLada land. What a week we've got happening. The 11th of October to the 18th of October is what we're looking at. Now, on the 11th of October, Venus is going to oppose Saturn. Ouch! Despite these two being friends in Vedic astrology, it still smarts when they're in this opposition standoff. It's a period where we might feel the heavy weight of responsibility with our significant other, or we might feel a level of emotional disturbance that makes us feel uncomfortable for some reason or another. So hurt feelings abound and our sensitive toes get trodden on. We can even experience financial losses during the Saturn opposition to Venus potentially because of the actions of another person in our lives. Oppositions often represent the involvement of another person in some difficulty. So yucky stuff that might be happening on the 11th of October. But no matter what happens, we're going to require being more responsible and more mature, especially in our relationships. It's a time to become stronger, more stoic, and more mature as we interact with others. So keep those themes in mind and you'll do okay and come out of this with a lot more growth and maturity, obviously. Then we're going to have Venus move into Libra on the 14th of October. Now, Venus will be in her home territory in Libra, so that's going to be wonderful. Relationships will lighten up. Venus is actually in her fall position in Virgo, so good for her to get out of that into her home comfort zone in Libra. Phew! There's going to be more, after the 14th of October, more of a gentility and kindness to our approach, especially in our romantic interactions. Libra is a very accommodating sign, and we might find ourselves carrying that quality to the forefront in our love lives, our relationships with younger women, because Venus rules younger women. They can flourish, they can grow. We might even meet some new younger women who are a blessing in our lives. This influence of Venus in Libra can be very good. So that's some good news. Opportunities for romance can increase under the influence of Venus in her roughly 30-day sojourn in Libra. And, intelligent conversations will also be a hallmark of any new relationships that begin at this time. If you are artistically inclined, you'll be inspired to produce some of your better works during Venus's stay in Libra. And be forewarned, spending money on high-end, sophisticated items like clothing or art or food might be very enticing to you. So tread carefully in that area. Also on the 14th of October, we've got the end of Pluto retrograde season. Power and passion is Pluto. Midnight Oil sang that song, Oh, the Power and the Passion. And they were certainly channeling Pluto themes in those lyrics. Pluto retrograde has been focused on an inner psychological healing and transformation since he went retrograde in May. So this is now making us, this period of Pluto retrograde has been making us reconsider and resolve areas of our lives where we've given our power away. So we've been addressing the loss of power and how to get our power back since May this year. So there might have been some stripping back of old, even past life complexes that have kept our liberation from us and kept our ultimate truth from us. We might have been healing those things. Now, Pluto turning direct on the 14th of October, it's a signification that some of the inner work is done until next year when Pluto does his retrograde season. So we've worked on our inner self, we've transformed our inner psychology just that little bit more. And now with Pluto moving forward in momentum, it's time to focus on taking our power back externally. We've done the inner work. I'm not going to tolerate this anymore. I'm not going to allow this to happen to me anymore. We've done the inner work, now we take our power back externally. We embrace the action that we need to truly live our truth, to liberate ourselves from any shackles that have been restricting us in our life. True power, true passion comes to us at last now that Pluto is moving direct. On the 14th of October also, we have Venus opposite Neptune. Not an easy energy for relationships and finances. If you've been struggling with these things prior to the 14th of October, this probably won't help you much. So forewarned, forearmed. Confusion is a hallmark of any Neptune hard aspects. So don't, spend too much money, because you might be like, well, where did all that money go? Don't message that new lover, because it might be misunderstood. Your message might be confused, and there might be a misdirection of the communication. Put the beauty treatment on hold. Don't go on that internet dating site. Go easy with Venusian things, because they can result in confusion or wondering what on earth just happened, etc. Be careful of your interactions with others too, especially your interactions with young women, which we know are ruled by Venus, because this energy of Venus opposite to Neptune can trigger people taking advantage of us, advantage of our caring and compassionate natures especially. Deception is in the air with Venus opposite Neptune. What is open to us, and remember there's shadow and light in everything, what is open to us on the 14th of October with Venus opposite Neptune and guilt-free is the chance to enjoy refined art and music, food, dancing, glamour. And if you can enjoy those things without spending a penny, so much the better. Bring on that lounge room dancing, I say. Finally, this week on the 17th of October, the Sun will square Jupiter. Now, even though this is a heavy aspect, it can still bring good things into your world, only with a dose of a too much of a good thing kind of vibe. So you might be finding that lucky opportunities are knocking at the door. Vivacity might be in abundance, and good-natured smiles greet your every interaction. Fantastic stuff. Just the same, we can somehow feel a little discontent with the status quo, greedy for more than our fair share. We might even take that greed to the next level and wind up regretting some overindulgences, too much of a good thing. So keep in mind, okay, moderation. I don't need to go over the top here. I can pare back a little. Try to remember to pare back, to subdue your hunger and desire just a bit, practicing, as the Apostle Paul said, contentment in all circumstances. But may this week be a blessing to you going forward. There's so much to look forward to. This week is actually sits in between the end of the eclipse season for the full moon in Pisces, which ends on the 20th, and the end of the eclipse season for the new moon eclipse that occurred in Virgo, which ends on the 10th. So this week we're going into is that 10-day window where the eclipses and their energies are winding up and concluding. So all those triggerings that we've had from the eclipse season come to an end, and now we're dealing with the repercussions of the eclipses for the next 6 months or so. What a week. I hope it's an enjoyable one for you.